Greetings and welcome to The Well. My name is Dave Householder, and I am blessed to bring you to one of the two most surprising verses in the Bible. The other one you can look up on your own, and that happens to be John 14:12. Every time I see it, I can't believe it's in the Bible. But this one is Psalm 8, verse 5. Now, for you fully to understand this verse, we have to do some history. So bear with me here. The Old Testament, the book of Psalms in the Old Testament, was written in Hebrew. Hebrew is a Semitic language. It's related to modern Arabic. It's related to Aramaic, which Jesus spoke. So when King David wrote most of the Psalms, he wrote them in Hebrew. And the original language of the Psalms was in Hebrew. And this is what was written in Psalm 8, verse 5. You have made him, mankind, humankind, Adam, Eve, you have made him a wood shaving lower than God. Now let that lean against your mind for a little while. A wood shaving lower than God. That's you, that's me, that's us, that's your neighbor. That's your enemy, that's your ally, that's your friend, that's your family member, made a little, just a wood shaving lower than God. Now, why do we have the phrase a little lower than the angels? Well, the reason for that has to do with the fact that the Old Testament was translated into Greek 2 or 3 centuries before the time of Jesus. In fact, the Greek Old Testament was the Bible of the Apostle Paul. We can tell that he quoted directly from it because Greek had become the main language of the region. And so the Bible in the city of Alexandria in Egypt, which was a Greek-speaking city named after Alexander the great Greek conqueror, in that city, which was the great academic city of the world at the time, the Old Testament was translated into Greek. And anytime you're looking at a scholarly commentary, capital L, capital X, which is Roman numerals for 70, because there were 70 translators, and it's called the Septuagint. That is the Greek Old Testament. Now, the Greek Old Testament, when they translated from the Hebrew, they looked at that verse and thought, can we really translate it that way? So they chickened out and wrote that he created mankind, humankind, Adam and Eve, male and female, he created them. In God's image, he created them a little lower than the angels because they thought that sounded a little bit more pious. To put ourselves that close to God would have been a little scary, but that's what the original psalm said. A wood shaving lower than God. You share a lot more with God than you do with the rest of creation. I'm surrounded here in my trailer in the desert. It's 100 degrees outside right now. I have a refrigerator from the 1940s or 50s behind me that still works, International Harvester. I'm sitting at a table. This trailer was made in 1958. It has tail fins. And I don't have much in common with the stuff around me, the stuff that you see on the screen. I have a lot more in common with you and with God. With God, we share the ability to create, consciousness, the ability to choose, freedom, cognition, all of those things. And we can tell just by looking at nature. And if you don't see this in nature, I don't know how you can't see this in nature. There is great design. And design begs the question of an intelligent creator, intelligent design. And even people who aren't Bible-believing Christians see that. There must be something behind things like hummingbirds and life and reproduction and consciousness and the human eye and all of those things which are just fantastic to watch. And we share a lot more with God than we do with the rest of creation. The Bible says that we are made in God's image. Now, I'd like you to take that a step farther. For one thing, I'd like that to help your self-image. If your self-image is based on that fact, not on what you achieve, not by your net worth, not by your good looks, not by any of that stuff, not by your popularity, not by how many likes you get on Facebook. If your net worth spiritually is the fact that you're made in God's image and that you're a wood shaving lower than God, and the Bible says so, and we all kind of intuit that, then we share his creative ability. The Creator created us in his image, therefore we can create. We can do all kinds of things. We belong to him. We are his children. We are the hinge between the physical and the spiritual in this sometimes inanimate, around me, creation stuff that's just stuff. We're not a rock. We're not a mountain. We're not dirt. We are conscious people, and we share that with God. Now, that's the first thing that I'd like you to take away from this, that your self-image ought to be really high if you look at the Bible and you believe the Bible. To believe the Bible and not to have a good self-image is counterintuitive. The second point I'd like to make is this, that other people are made in the image of God too. Other people are a wood shaving lower than God. Now, if that's the case, we ought to respect them even as we respect God, or almost as much. And I don't see that in our culture right now. I see a lot of strife. I see a lot of blaming. I see a lot of name calling. I see Christians finding it okay to bash people who think differently than we do personally, not just their ideas, but them as people. And it hurts my heart. And I'm hoping that you and I and everyone here at the Well can do everything we can to respect people we differ with, not to trash people, not to talk them down. And it's so easy to do that to political opponents. Are you wearing a mask or aren't you? Oh, those people aren't wearing one. Oh, those people are. They're just slaves. Back and forth. Folks, if everyone here is made a wood shaving lower than God, we ought to show them some basic human respect and some basic caring. And if we have differences with people, we don't have to pretend like we don't have differences, but can we share those things respectfully and with honor and not just bash people? Can you join me in just not bashing for a while? If you're one of those all lives matter people, could you not bash the Black Lives Matter people? If you're one of the Black Lives Matter people, could you not bash the all lives matter people? Could we just respect a little bit about where people are coming from? St. Francis of Assisi once said, to understand more than to be understood. I have so many people just getting it said out there and not enough people getting it heard and not enough people listening. We can be salt and light because of this verse. Take this verse to heart for yourself, that you're made in the image of God and just a wood shaving lower than God. And so is your neighbor, whether you agree with him, whether you agree with her or not. And that's the good news for today. Tomorrow is worship. Join us at 10 o'clock Pacific, and we hope to see you there. And join in the comments and the conversation, and we're going to worship God and have a wonderful time together at the Well. See you soon.